Excellencies, tomorrow we commemorate 81 years since the signing of our United Nations Charter. The Charter is both a promise and a warning. It gives form to our aspiration for a better future while reminding us of the horrors we endured to learn the hard lessons. Peace does not occur automatically. It is built through persistent diplomacy, collective action, and political will. 8 decades on, we should be alarmed at our trajectory. The number of active armed conflicts reached a record high in 2025, and nearly 40% of countries emerging from conflict relapse within 5 years. Meanwhile, between 2024 and 2025 alone, global humanitarian funding collapsed by 40%. This is despite what our 8 decades of United Nations efforts to maintain peace, prevent conflict, and support recovery have taught us: that peace and security, sustainable development, and human rights are inseparable. We meet at a moment of cynicism. Some complain that the United Nations is not doing enough to deliver peace and security. Even if we fail to invest sufficiently in the foundations of peace, and this is an institution that support it. Where institutions are weak, grievance grow. Where justice is delayed, trust erodes. And where the rule of law is ignored, nationally or internationally, instability spreads and development becomes harder to sustain. We are often asked by the public and journalists alike whether the United Nations is still worth if it cannot end the devastating wars currently underway. Yet wars that never happen because of these efforts, because of our peace-building efforts, because of conflict prevention or sustainable development, rarely make headlines. Unfortunately, there is no glory in prevention. Yet, we know prevention and peace-building is the most noble things to ensure peace. Saving succeeding generation from the scourge of war, therefore, means first and of all, valuing peace-building and conflict prevention as a core part of the work of the United Nations. And for sure and without doubt, we all have to do better to bring peace to the war zones, to Sudan, Ukraine, Gaza, and Lebanon, and to conflicts that too often escape global attention, including in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or the situation in Haiti and elsewhere. Yet, we should also value the successes which are there, but as said, unfortunately, hardly make headlines. Such as in Central Asia, where Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan have engaged on transportable water issues intensively, and the empowerment of women and regional cooperation backed by the United Nations Regional Center of Preventive Diplomacy not only solved a year-long struggle around borders, but also going forward on water management, building peace, building trust, preventing further crisis. This is preventive diplomacy across the region. This is the core of the work we are doing here for 8 decades. In the Pact for the Future, therefore, member states committed to strengthening preventive diplomacy and dialogues between states. The Pact recognizes the importance of national efforts to sustain peace and enhance international security, while also pledging to give the Peacebuilding Commission a more strategic role. Furthermore, the 2025 Peacebuilding Architecture Review, adopted in November by the General Assembly and the Security Council, builds on 20 years of experience to strengthen the impact of peacebuilding efforts. That experience includes further successes, for example, in Liberia, where after 14 years of civil war, the Commission supported national efforts on transnational justice and the women and youth agendas. It is another powerful reminder of what can be achieved when peacebuilding is treated as a core priority. Yet, like everything else, peacebuilding is only possible when properly resourced. The Pact therefore affirms that member states bear the primary responsibility for preventing conflict and building peace in their own countries and supports nationally owned efforts. But national ownership does not mean countries should carry these burdens alone. External support remains essential. And the Peacebuilding Fund is exactly the tool leading to this aim. Since 2006, the Peacebuilding Fund has supported 75 countries and territories and invested more than $2 billion, sustained by the voluntary generosity of more than 60 member states. For example, the PBF became the first contributor to the UN Multi-Donor Trust Fund in Colombia, which has mobilized more than $217 million for the implementation of the 2016 peace agreement. This is the core work of the United Nations, preventive diplomacy, peace building at its heart. In the Central African Republic, the fund supported the 2025 to 2026 electoral cycle, including presidential, legislative, regional, and municipal elections. The completion of that cycle marked an important step towards extending government authorities across the country. It has also helped widen political participation, with women making up 45% of elected municipal councillors, including the newly elected mayor of Bangui. This shows again how our work on peace is deeply interconnected with delivering on our SDGs, the goal on strengthening public institution, justice as a core for peace. And we all know these resources work best when they build upon and work in concert with national strategies. Therefore, this first Peacebuilding Week is our chance to show that peacebuilding achieves and to rally the support it deserves, knowing that we are always better together. I thank you.